What's going on, guys? So this is one of my most highly anticipated smartphone devices of the year, and that would be the Pixel 8 series. As you can see on the table, I have the Fold, the Pixel 8 Pro, the Pixel 8, the Watch 2, and the Buds Pro. So I am diving right into the Google ecosystem. But you know what else is diving into this channel? Our sponsor. Nobody. Now, I'm not going to unbox all of these on the channel. I've actually already unboxed this Pixel Fold, and as you can see, there's still nothing in the box. But I will have a later video on that. One thing I want to mention is that I'm still unlucky when it comes to Google products because the Watch 2 already came open, but I'll have a separate video on that. But this video, I'm just going to unbox the Pixel 8 Pro, and then I will have the 8 by itself, and then also the Buds Pro by themselves as well. So let's just get right into it, right? So starting off with the unboxing experience, I do have a little bit of this kind of rubbed off on the box. That's okay, not that big of a deal, but let's give credit where credit is due, and this was made in Vietnam. I'm not really surprised. Shout out to both Vietnam and India. It seems like that's where the next generation of manufacturing is going to take place. So nice to see that we are seeing things happen in Vietnam. Good for their economy. We already know how we unbox on this channel. So cut that open. And we have the porcelain color of the Pixel 8. Gotta say, they're doing a good job on the color. Now, I do want to pull out the Pixel 7 Pro side by side, so you can see that the porcelain is definitely more of a cream color. By the way, it's nice to see that I actually have a device in my box. They give you an adapter as well, so a USB-C to USB-A adapter, as well as a cable that is USB-C to USB-C. We have some paperwork. No one is ever going to read. So I just want to do like a quick comparison. You can see that the camera indentation is a little bit different, or I should say the design is a little bit different. It's basically more of a larger pill shape on the Pixel 8 Pro versus the Pixel 7. It's a pill and a circle. Ooh, hold up. Before I take this off, why does this feel so nice? This material, it's a matte finish. This is like a glass finish. It's a little bit slippery. This one definitely has more grip. I actually like it. It's nice. All right, let's take this off now. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. If you have never used a Pixel, you will probably stay on the screen just from how good the haptics feel. Like this, wait for it. It feels so good in your hand, like the haptic vibration, best in class. I would say, honestly, probably the best on any smartphone. Going around the device real quick, we have our lock button and then our volume rocker. Hopefully that doesn't fall out this year. Then on the bottom here, we have a USB-C port that does our fast charging. And then we have our speakers as well, with microphones probably built in there. And then we have our SIM card tray. Thank you for keeping this for the US models. And then on the top, pretty much nothing other than our 5G antenna to get to those cellular towers better, and then another microphone up here. Overall, gotta say it is a beautiful device. I'd say one of the best looking smartphone devices on the market, and it seems like Google has their iconic badge here. So even if this Google logo wasn't here, from a distance, you probably could tell that this is a Pixel phone. So can't wait to put my SIM card in here. It's already telling me to finish up the Pixel setup, but not yet. So before I get into the phone, there's one thing I almost forgot. The smell test. Smells like cherries. It's a pleasant smell. I like it. Going back to what we have in front of us, how are you gonna cut off when I'm in the middle of a speech trying to talk about the display? So right out of the box, this could be to improve battery life, but you did order the phone for the resolution. So Google does give you the lower resolution right outside the box, but if you want the full resolution, take advantage of all the pixels that you have. I'd say go into your settings and make sure you set it to the full resolution. So this is the home screen of the Pixel. As you can see here, the bottom here is excited because it wants me to touch it. We're going to pause for a second and talk about the display itself, because this is, if not one of the most brightest smartphone displays, sitting at 2400 nits. Now, I'm not exactly sure if that's only when you're watching HDR content, but Google has also talked about this being a new display for them, calling this the Actua display. So I will have a full side-by-side comparison between the Pixel 8 Pro and the Pixel 7 Pro, but I'm just bringing it here for like quick demo purposes. So one of the major changes that they've made on the Pixel 8 is that the display is now flat on the front, whereas on the Pixel 7, it's curved. Personally, I actually like the curved display on the Pixel 7 Pro simply because it just feels a little bit more better to hold in the hand. The flat display, it's not that big of a deal, but it's just something that is different from the previous generation. The last thing I want to mention when it comes to the major differences is the refresh rate. Yes, they both go up to 120 Hertz, but this can now go down to 1 Hertz. So in terms of the always on display and just overall battery life, we should see a significant improvement on that front. So let's go ahead and do our usual testing, starting with the display. So since this phone was made in Vietnam, I think it's only right to walk through Vietnam to test out the HDR capabilities. Sorry, I did not want to pause on a Samsung ad. But first thing I want to mention is the speakers. The speakers are noticeably better than the Pixel 7 Pro. These are much more louder, more clear, more full. The other thing I want to mention in terms of the HDR and the colors, it's vivid. If you have the ability to pull this up on your own phone, I would say that the scene that I saw that was probably the most significant was inside the building. I probably got to go back 10 seconds. Now, I'm not trying to come across as an expert in displays and colors and gamuts and stuff like that. I'm just going off what I can see with my own eyes. And in terms of HDR, with this cranked up to the max brightness, I think this is a pretty good spot to see how good the contrast is. And you can definitely tell, like in terms of the depth of field, with this being a little bit behind the actual arch, the colors, this orange bronze color that's kind of outlining across the entire inner parts of the building with the dark green accent. I think it just does a really good job here. And I got to give credit where credit is due. And, made in Vietnam, but also the display in terms of its color reproduction, I'd say is very, very good.
All right, what's going on, guys? So I really don't like making videos where I directly call out companies because in the grand scheme of things, I'm trying to be on good terms with everyone. But it gets to a point where things need to be said and addressed in the open. And the only time...
Yeah, speakers definitely have an improvement compared to the last generation. And I'd say if you're listening to music or any type of audio with just the speakers, you're not going to be dissatisfied. Next up, the camera. So I'm using the default settings. The only thing I've changed is going from full image to wide crop. And let's just go ahead and test out the camera. So let's use the front facing camera first. 3, 2, 1. Oh my God, this looks amazing. And then let's also test out the portrait front facing camera. All right, so let's take a look at the photos here. This is the portrait image that was taken, and it is hard to compete with Google. Like, the post-processing and the software that they do is just unbelievable. Like, I've been on the S23 Ultra for a while this year, and I've got to say, this probably beats it. Just from this alone, like look, okay, I'm not going to say much about my face, my skin, but there's a lot of ridges that you can see here, and I don't think I would get that on any other smartphone. Like the amount of detail here is quite crazy. And then also, with the portrait background, this is definitely blurred. It does mess up here a little bit on the left-hand side. It's clear, like no depth of field, but this isn't like a real background. So anyway, let's go ahead and look at the regular photo that I took. And once again, very detailed. Wow, like this is incredible. All right, now I want to test out the back cameras. Okay, so portrait was a little zoomed in. I was not expecting that, but it still was able to capture and retain most of the detail within the subject, which is myself, a good looking person. Dang, my lips are chapped. Anyway, this is a lot of detail, especially coming from the back camera. So if you want the best cameras that you can get, use the back cameras without a doubt. And then let me go ahead and check out the photo I took before. Whoops. So this is just using the back camera. I would say this is actually a very good compliment, but it's really hard to tell between the front camera and the back camera. The back camera is obviously better, but the front camera is pretty close to the amount of detail that I see in here. All right, next up is video. I'm going to keep on HDR and all that good stuff. I'm just going to select 4K, keep all that stuff. I'll put on HDR, make things more true to life. You know, we gotta have that stuff in there, right? So let's go ahead and test out the front camera. So this is the front-facing camera on the Pixel 8 Pro. There has been lots of talks about the improvement of the camera department on the Pixel series, and I've got to say it looks a little bit jittery. This is the front-facing camera, so we're gonna have to see how things look with the back camera, but definitely looks a little bit jittery whenever I'm holding it. But in terms of the quality, I've got to say the quality is up there. I would say definitely competing within the top 5 easily. So let's go ahead and test out the back cameras. All right, so now this is using the back camera on the Pixel 8 Pro. You guys tell me how it looks and sounds. Obviously, I can't see what it looks like right now because I'm just looking at the lens, but I'm hoping that the quality and the stabilization is much better than what I saw from the front-facing camera. Maybe I'll slide in a Pixel 7 Pro. Now I'll leave that for the full comparison. But you guys can tell me how this looks and sounds, if it's stable or not, and if the quality of the Pixel 8 Pro has improved. I can't hit the button, so I'm just awkwardly staring. So the last thing I want to leave off with are the biometrics, and just to show you guys, I did skip lock screen so you can see how fast the face unlock is. But I believe this is the only Android phone in the world that has like enhanced scanning with your face with simply using the camera. So there's no IR blaster, or there's no IR scanner, no depth sensor that we have on the iPhone, but it is able to leverage your face for unlocking applications that require more security. So that is great that Google's able to pull this off. So just to show you guys as a demonstration, I just got to look at it. Okay, so one thing, I've always said this before, now it's unlocking my face. Face unlock is very inconsistent for me on Android. This doesn't just go for the Pixel, this goes for the Samsung series I've had, Nothing phone, OnePlus as well. It's just very inconsistent, but when it works really well. So as you can see here, I just gotta look. It's almost like I have to be at the right angle. Honestly, as soon as the sun is down, just forget about it. You're better off just using your finger. So this does have an optical fingerprint sensor. It works great. I don't know why I'm not using the overhead camera, but you just press your finger there, it works, it gets into your phone. There are some complaints that it's not using an ultrasonic sensor. I would say the fact that we still have some level of in-display fingerprint sensor is good, but at this price point, it would have been nice to see an ultrasonic sensor. My biggest complaint about using an optical sensor for unlocking your phone is that you have to like tap your phone once in order to unlock it. See, look at that, fingerprint not recognized. Or the alternative is to have always on display on. If you want to use the fingerprint sensor without having to tap or lift up your phone, you have to make sure that always show time and info is enabled. And then when you go to lock your screen, the always on display is on, and then your fingerprint reader is there for you to use. So I'll go ahead, have it be on always on display, tap it there, and then you're good to go. Once again, this is one of those things where it's like it's a workaround in order to get something to work, but I think it's just one of the trade-offs of using an optical sensor. But regardless, we still have an in-display fingerprint reader. We have a very nice upgrade in terms of the facial unlock, and this is the flagship by Google now. Hopefully you guys did enjoy my unboxing and first impressions of the Pixel 8 Pro. Let me know if you picked it up down in the comments below, what your experience has been like, and I will try to be as fair as I can, as I will always be for all my reviews. And let me know what you want me to unbox next, whether it's the Pixel 8, the watch, the buds, the Fold is still missing. Anyway, can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Appreciate every single sub, like, and comment. And as always, guys, much love. Woo! Ooh, the balance test is not that good. Wait. Yep. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. I'm not messing around this time around. I'm not messing around this time around. How stupid does that sound? And I have the Fold, the Pixel 2, the Pixel 2. and that would be the Pixel Pro 8 series. The 8 series, it's just the Pixel 8 series, not the Pixel 8 Pro series. I believe this is the new setup procedure for Android 17. Android 17, I'm literally thinking about Dragon Ball Z, oh my God.